This is the first episode of a new series called the Retro Rummage. So what am I going to be doing? I'm going to be going around charity shops, I'm going to be going around markets and car boot sales and kind of filming it all and putting it up on YouTube. Now this has been inspired by LGR because I absolutely love his thrift series and we get to see all those American thrift stores. I'm going to be looking at really dodgy markets, guys selling stuff out the back of vans, house clearance, all the stuff that you guys are not going to see usually if you're not out at 6 in the morning. Now, I know Nostalgia Nerd did some stuff in the UK and I found that really cool and interesting, but I'm going to keep doing it and take it quite far. So, what have I got to enable me? I've got a pair of these LGR video camera glasses. Now, these make me look like a bit of a biker, but they're pretty comfy and they're recording good quality. So, here's episode 1 of the Retro Rummage.
God bless Hooky Street. Viva Hooky Street.
The charity shop I'm going to be looking at first is Oxfam. Now, Oxfam's like a international aid organisation and kind of helps people worldwide. And this is what they have in their shop. We've got lots and lots of military combat stuff. So someone was obviously well into combat and kind of military flight, World War stuff. But I noticed this little book in the corner, 50 Shades of Grey, which really interests me. So let's have a look what it says on the back. Hurt me, she begged, raising her skirt as she bent over the workbench. Very well, I replied. You've got fat ankles and no dress sense. Colin Gray's life was happy until the day everything changed. The day his wife read that book. Suddenly, it was thrust headfirst into the dark illicit world of pleasure and pain. The story of one man's struggle against a tide of tempestuous erotic desire and the greatest love of all, the love between a man and his shed. I thought it sounds good, but I won't get into that. Now, each charity shop in the UK has a good section of kind of retro stuff, and they've defined it off in the glass cabinets so they know it's worth stuff. And there's a lot of stuff like original vinyl pressings. You can see there's a DSi available as well. Another place that really interests me is the bins. So you can see here we've got, I think it's a World War II battle reenactment, like part of a series where you can play the battle. And then we've got a few Guitar Hero things. Of course, you've got your PlayStation 2 titles here. Buzz, the big quiz game, if you remember that. I think it used the iToy. And you had a weird Buzz controller with it. And there's these, of course, Guitar Hero versions, World Tour, Legends of Rock. Don't really interest me that much. There's Bo Selector, which was a really funny UK kind of comedy where they took the mick out of all the celebrities. And on the bottom right, that's his version of Britney Spears, which is just absolutely ridiculous. He used to have these big rubber masks on. And these DVD bins, you find all the kind of standard stuff. American Pie is always going to be in there. Oh, look at this, a movie game. So Charlie's Angels, the official movie game. I bet that's absolutely shocking, as most official movie games were. And you'll find a lot of stand-up comedy as well, and Pixar stuff. So this is Pixar short films, and I actually got this for my fiance because she loves all the little early short films they did with Pixar, so it's good to have that collection. Yeah, you can see there's like Little Britain, and there's Monty Python stuff. Quite a few modern films actually. Despicable Me. This is a Wii title. We Rock Drum King. I think this is probably one of your Wii drumming ones. Or maybe you needed the drum kit. There's a few Premier League things. Pirates of the Caribbean. Theory of Everything, that's a really good film. And Hook, of course, on the right, which is just a classic. There's lots of fitness videos as well. You always get fitness videos and stuff. But the selection's pretty poor in like this Oxfam. If I went to another one, I can show you later, and you'll get some really good game selections, shelves of games. But this one, you kind of have to find them in between the DVDs. And Roller Rescue, Hello Kitty. That looks like an interesting title, doesn't it? I don't think I'll go down that path. But yeah, there's a few things there. A lot of comedy films, a bit of Borat there. Deal or No Deal. District 13. Oh, that was a great film. Some UK sci-fi, Doctor Who, stuff like that. And yeah, you just generally get DVDs chucked down these days. Here's another PlayStation 2 one. And this is Sing It, High School the Musical. So obviously somebody had a kind of passion for these band or music like games. Now, this is a shelf with some comics on it. There's Forever People. I've not heard of them. And then this is a weird section. So they always kind of do these like sections to appeal to the executive or the male. And this is a weird game controller from Game. And a chess set. But there's also a Chauvinist Pig board game there. Horny Devil kind of soap-up kit. Mixed with some shirts and a nice little golf putter for your office. There's a few calculators as well, and Sudoku kind of mini game there. It's really a weird arrangement. They also have some cards which are for traffic puzzle game. Who would want to play that? A traffic puzzle trauma game. But I think the Chauvinist Pig board game appealed to me because I want to check it out. I think the idea of you play it and you try and prove that you're not sexist, but the questions put you into that kind of sexist role, and your deepest, darkest attitudes are exposed and you horrify your friends. So the second place we're going to is Headway. Now, Headway is a charity shop for people with brain damage. And this is Mind Trap, which was a kind of little board game. And I think that looked quite like Night Trap. I don't know what's going on with my glasses here. They've gone slightly crazy. But it looked like a nice game. Another kind of puzzler. But this one was filled out. You know, some of the sheets had actually been already filled in. So I wasn't a fan of that. Sometimes you get games with, you know, bits missing, filled out bits, and it's just not worth getting them. There's your usual brick and brack and kind of just a tat that you get, and you always have a book and DVD section and vinyls as well, which we'll get onto in a second. Now, I couldn't really spot many games on this one, but there was the green wad of DVDs there. So I thought, they're the Xbox ones. And there was Halo Reach. And then I looked behind them and it was just FIFA games. So I just literally chucked them to the side because not interested in old FIFA games. Now, these are the vinyls and you get a weird selection of 70s stuff. This guy called James Last Ole. That looks like a very interesting title. You usually get a lot of stuff like Tchaikovsky, Mozart, 70s compilations of bad kind of 70s pop songs like top hits. Now the next one is helping people with vision, which is my site, and they help people with sight loss. And as soon as I came into the store, I could see there was this cool John Lennon issue of Mojo magazine, and they had this sock puppet creating kit. Now, I'm not quite sure why you need a sock puppet creating kit. Surely it's well easy to do. You just cut up some socks and stick some eyes on out of other socks. But I guess this gives you design stuff, and you can only get 3 sock puppets out of it. That sucks. There was this pudding in a mug, which was weird. Why not use another mug and just do a pudding in it? Why do you need a special pudding mug? And there was typewriters, so there's always beautiful typewriters everywhere now in charity shops, and they're working a lot of the time. And they're really good fun. They're just heavy, and kind of no one really wants to use a typewriter nowadays. There's always a few kind of items around, like there's a nice book there that had some pictures taken from space. There's some 45s and old vinyls that I didn't really have time to go through. Now, this is one of my favourite shops. This is Nottinghamshire Hospice. Now, Nottinghamshire Hospice have on the bottom floor just clothes and stuff like that, like the other ones. But then upstairs they have this amazing vintage and retro section. So if you walk up the stairs, you can kind of see on the walls they've got all like memorabilia and old license plates and vinyls and stuff like that, and lovely kind of place and atmosphere that they've made up here. It's really cramped though. As you can see, I came in straight away, and you can see there's some Royal Navy uniforms. Now, I don't know if I could buy one of those and join the village people. Probably could. And there's some nice platforms there, some rhinestone boots. There's a lot of old fashion in here. A fireman's helmet, interestingly. A Russian hat. And some whiskey. I think a whiskey container. I don't know if they can sell that. On the top, they've got all these old projectors, which are beautiful. You know, my fiance's bought quite a few projectors because she's really into slide projecting. And there's these solar viewers as well, so you can view the slides. Now this interests me. It was a mark detector, a watermark detector, and it seemed like you could kind of check watermarks, make watermarks last longer, make copies of watermarks. I'm not quite sure what that would be used for, but it's pretty interesting. And then they have these like nice cabinets full of like bits of jewelry and stuff like that. And they had an old tiny mini keyboard there. I think that's probably 18 key or 14 key or something like that. They have these nice annuals and stuff. And there's always this corner. There's always something good in this corner. So I always go and check it out. Now you've got some old tennis rackets there. Maybe use them one day as snowshoes. And I spotted this nice little alarm clock. And it's just medium wave and long wave. It looks quite nice. It's by Bush. And of course, you get some sci-fi here. And this is 2000 AD, which is one of the coolest UK British comics with Judge Dredd and all of those guys. Strontium Dog. But you've also got Fairport Convention songbook over the top of that as well. So that's a bit of a weird combination of stuff to have. But I guess it's because the 2000 ADs fit in there. There's quite a lot of nice stuff on these shelves all packed in. I was interested in this, which was a copy of The Hobbit. And this is an absolute beautiful copy of The Hobbit. It was only £5. And look at this map at the front. And, you know, they have beautiful drawings in there. And I may actually go back and buy that later, because that is pretty awesome. It looks like one of the really old prints, rather than the new ones that I got with the plastic fronts, which really suck. It's one of the first books I really got into, The Hobbit. Now, up here we have a sewing machine, so I was wondering what's in these boxes. I always like to check it out, and this was industrial sewing machine stuff, so I'm not really interested in that. There's a few hand-drawn comics there. There's these like little train collectors and little things. But this swan thing really interests me. This is a radio tease made. Now this is a very British thing. So you have a radio on the front with an alarm clock that wakes you up, and on the back, can you see the mugs there? You can actually heat up a big plate and have your tea ready for you in the morning, which is quite good. But I don't know how it would be having your tea stand there all night. And this was a fire extinguisher as well, which they used to use in Victorian times, which is pretty good. It might make a good water pistol nowadays. Now there's a few DVDs here, just in the corner of another final charity shop we popped into, but it was slim pickings today. And we've got Alan Partridge stuff, of course. Also, lots of really violent video games there, of course, in the kids section, which is like Red Dead Redemption, Saints Row, alongside Little Pony and stuff like that. It's always interesting to go into this place and see. You know, you've got Spitting Image there, which was an old satire show. Very funny, with all the puppets taking the mick out of politicians and stuff. And that was about it for my kind of journey. There was a few things in this cabinet, which are like Westworld figurines and the best of Frankie Howard, who I absolutely love, and a few weird gamepads. But that's about it for the Mappley selection. I'm going to be taking you soon to go and see the car boot sales and the cattle markets. And wow, they absolutely blow this one out the window.